Good morning, my name is Byron Drew from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Friday, the 11th of November. Today's weather brief will include details of the West European 5-day average temperature summary, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and global weather alerts. We'll start with a summary of the 5-day average temperatures across Europe and the United Kingdom, and overall there is still no sign of a major or sustained cooling trend across either Europe or the UK over the next 32 days. Although temperatures are likely to trend slightly below average after the 27th of November. And temperatures are expected to trend between 1 and 2 degrees above climate normal through parts of Central Europe, and perhaps by as much as 3 or even 4 degrees above climate normal through the UK, although temperatures further east into Germany, for instance, could trend near to or perhaps even slightly below climate average. And through days 6 and 10, temperatures over eastern parts of Europe will once again trend near to average or perhaps slightly below average, although Austria could cool to as much as 3 or 4 degrees below normal. Meanwhile, temperatures are expected to trend between 1 and 3 degrees above climate normal through Iberia and France, with the UK trending up to 4 degrees above climate normal. And once again, in the short term, between days 2 and 5, temperatures over western parts of Europe through Iberia, France and the UK will trend above average to well above average, while temperatures in the east will trend near to or perhaps slightly below average. And when we look at the average sea level pressure chart between days 1 and 5 across Europe, it is clear to see why the temperatures are warmer in the west than in the east, with a large and dominant high pressure system situated over the northeastern part of Europe, providing a mild southerly to southeasterly air mass over Iberia, France and the UK, and cooler easterly or perhaps even northeasterly air masses for the eastern parts of Europe. And now for a more detailed look at temperatures across the UK, starting with the latest 32-day forecast, where once again temperatures are expected to trend slightly below average after the 27th of November and into the start of December, while the latest Metro model is preferred between the 20th and the 25th of November due to good recent skill scores and support for lower temperatures from the ECMWF 32-day forecast. And through days 11 and 15, temperatures are expected to trend significantly above average, as is indicated by the latest UK model comparison graph, with my own particular temperature forecast indicated by the red line. Through days 6 and 10, there is significant model divergence, although all available forecast models indicate temperatures to trend above climate normal. The latest UK model comparison graph helps to illustrate that point nicely, with the GFS deterministic model indicating significantly cooler weather, although overall confidence levels are good for temperatures to trend around 3 degrees above climate norms. And finally, between days 2 and 5, temperatures are likely to trend between 3 and 4 degrees above climate average across the UK, with good model agreement and consistency for overall temperatures, as well as for the distinct cooling trend after the 13th of November. Now for a look at temperatures across Europe in some further detail. The latest ECMWF 32-day forecast indicates a slight shift in model outlook over the latter part of November, with the forecast now expecting temperatures to trend slightly above average through the week of the 20th to the 27th of November, with temperatures after that then trending near to or perhaps just slightly below average through many central parts of Europe. And on our latest West European 5-day average temperature summary through days 11 and 15, it is clear there is good model support for slightly above average temperatures through central parts of Europe, with all available forecast models indicating temperatures near to and slightly above normal. While further east into Austria, for instance, temperatures are expected to drop below average to potentially well below average, and temperatures through Iberia and France will trend between 1 and 3 degrees above average. Our latest Benelux model comparison graph helps to illustrate that point nicely, with significant model divergence, particularly amongst the GFS deterministic model, although both the GFS ensemble and the ECMWF ensemble and my own particular temperature forecast, indicated by the red line, indicate temperatures to trend generally above normal for central parts of Europe through days 11 and 15. And through days 6 and 10, while temperatures are expected to drop below climate average through parts of Central Europe at times in the week, overall weekly temperatures are expected to trend near to average or perhaps even slightly above average. The latest Benelux model comparison graph clearly indicates a period of 2 to 3 days where temperatures will track below average. Between days 2 and 5, temperatures through Spain and across into France are likely to trend 3 degrees above climate average, while temperatures through Benelux and Switzerland are expected to trend near to average, and temperatures further eastwards just slightly below climate normal. In Benelux, over the shorter term between days 2 and 5, despite some divergence between the deterministic and ensemble models, Overall confidence levels are medium for temperatures to drop below average by the 14th. And now for Scandinavian precipitation, where little or no measurable precipitation is likely through most parts of Scandinavia over the next 10 to 15 days, although the northern parts of Finland and Norway in particular could see average to potentially well above average precipitation. And in the longer term, through days 7 and 14, increased precipitation is likely for most southwestern parts of Norway as well as western Sweden, although on the whole, the next 10 to 15 day period will be a particularly dry period for the majority of the southern parts of Scandinavia. And now for global weather alerts. And once again, over the next 10 to 15 days, the most significant precipitation is expected in eastern parts of the US as well as the Pacific Northwest, with parts of the Pacific Northwest in particular seeing a significant increase in precipitation totals through days 10 to 15. And once again, temperatures east of the Rocky Mountains are likely to be above average to well above average in places, while temperatures west of the mountains will trend near to, or perhaps even slightly below average, with the temperature forecast generally remaining very similar overall through days 10 and 15. And now onto East Asia, where temperatures across Japan are likely to trend near average over the next 7 to 10 days, while temperatures across the majority of China are expected to be generally above average to well above average, with parts of the northwest in particular trending up to 4 or even 6 degrees above normal for this time of year. And over the next 7 to 10 days, significantly above average and potentially heavy rainfall is expected for central and northern parts of China. And in the slightly longer term, precipitation totals are likely to increase in the southeastern and eastern parts over the next 10 to 15 days. And now on to South Asia, where little or no measurable precipitation is expected across the majority of the northern part of India over the next 10 to 15 days. Meanwhile, in the extreme southeast, moderate showers over the first 10 days are likely to increase in intensity through days 10 and 15. Despite significant and possibly even heavy showers over many parts of southeastern Asia over the next 10 to 15 days, precipitation totals remain near to or perhaps even slightly below average in most parts, with temperatures expected to trend below average to potentially well below average from Vietnam and across into Burma, as well as for the southeastern portions of India, although the northwest and Pakistan are likely to remain well above average. That's all for today's weather brief. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.